Hello, friends. Hi, it's me, Meglo, your friendly neighbourhood master of dungeons. I hope you are all doing well. I'm okay. As you can see, I have my hair down today. I thought I'd make a change. Hello. Sorry. Surprised. Startled by starting the stream. Strange. Yeah, I hope you're all doing well. And I hope you're all having a fantastic day. And if you're not having a fantastic day, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope your day improves. And now we've got the pleasantries out the way. We're here to play D&D. We are here to play The Grip of the Fungal Queen. I remember the name of my things. Yes, episode 2, session 2 of The Grip of the Fungal Queen. For those of you wondering, episode 1 is going to go live on YouTube tomorrow. Partly because I forgot, but also it took a while to get a few things sorted for it. However, I'm thinking episode 1 tomorrow, episode 2 maybe on Thursday. We might get back onto the Thursday schedule. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you're all ready for a few hours of carnage, because I certainly am. Let's bring in the team. Hello, team.
Hello.
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 Hello. Nice, we're all here. Are you all ready to play some Dungeons and Dragons?
I think so.
Go on then. While
Yeah,
we're here.
yeah.
You've convinced me.
Yeah? Good, I'm glad. I'm glad that I've had that effect on you. So, I think we should play some Dungeons and Dragons. And as such, I will ask Josh to recap what happened last week for everyone in the class.
Okay, let me get my notes. See if I can actually make the story.
Can't believe you haven't got your notes on you right now.
They are on me. I just have to open up the book. So we were just 3 adventurers at the time who started traveling with this caravan. We'd been traveling for about 6 weeks before we get to where we actually started. And in this caravan were a couple guards protecting it and a couple civilians. And as we approach... Did I get the name of the town? Nope, I never got the name of the town.
Summerheath.
Summerheath. We stop just outside of it because we see this... What are we calling it? I've got it as moss still.
Fungus.
Fungus, like covering the top layer of pretty much everything around us. And as the driver of the caravan and some guards take a look at it, a civilian woman, jumps out of the caravan and decides to touch it. And then immediately retreats and hides in the corner of the caravan. And we pretty much decide to continue until we get to the town, which we find is completely empty, with no one around, covered in this fungus. And Alura checks on the woman because she doesn't seem right. And as she seems physically ill, she ends up doing a weird roly-poly off the side of the cart and running away. 2 guards follow, but we don't hear anything from them ever again. The 3 of us decide that we will go and check it out, see if we can find the woman to help her. As we go, we see 2 big drag marks that look like bodies or horses. And we hear Grant also hears crying in one of the houses, which he decides to investigate, and finds the civilian woman who now looks like a moldy zombie. And she quickly attacks him as soon as he lays eyes on her. He manages to escape and head out the house. And as he does that, Tulip starts to give him some epic background music.
He does.
Yes. we managed to take out the first zombie, and then a second one appears from behind Tulip, who gets Alura, I believe, with the spores. Yeah, it's the spores that make you ill. We've managed to fend it off, and as we do, the last remaining guard, who's a goblin, comes up, tries to heal Alura unsuccessfully from the poison, and as we really don't want to be staying in this town, we decide to pack up and get the hell out of there and move on to the next big town.
What else happened?
That was it.
Tulip found a new flower.
There we go. It was the most important part of the whole session.
Not for Grant.
Tulip has a new flower, and Alura was vomiting paste.
Yeah, well, Tulip can talk about his flower when it's his turn to recap.
Okay, nice. Thank you, Josh. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So yes, we rejoin our adventurers and their companions as Tulip has rejoined the party, his new flower planted in some soil that he's placed in his top pocket. And Alura is vomiting basically like pasty vomit over the side of the caravan. Everybody, the remaining civilians and the traders and guards are looking at you with a look of distaste. There's someone missing here. Hang on. You? Nope. Oh dear. You? Yeah, they're looking at you kind of distastefully. Kind of like, the bloody hell's wrong with you? How are you reacting to this newfound, development?
Alura's panicking a bit, not gonna lie.
That sounds fair. The taste of it is disgusting. It's leaving like a proper bile taste in the back of your throat. Somewhat grainy.
Ugh.
Yeah, you can feel little bits of like sort of almost sugar texture in the back of your throat. And as it sort of slops to the ground, immediately it just starts to spread. Those tendril-like roots that you've been seeing previously have just started spreading out along the ground. Taryn, the other guard, or the last remaining guard, just shoots out a bolt of fire from his hand, just kind of whispers a quiet incantation and blasts out this fire towards it. And as the fire makes contact, the fungal sick, let's say, the fungal vomit, just kind of dissipates. The fire just seems to spread through it, and it dissipates into the air. Well, that seemed to work at least.
Maybe you should try it on her.
Hey,
Well,
Yeah. Let's not rush to incinerating our friends.
Well, it might work, but okay.
Let's think. What we know is the woman that touched it, she turned pretty quick.
She did.
So far, Alura has only inhaled the spores, and she's just Not showing the exact symptoms from what we saw, but she is very ill.
At this point, Alura, you're starting to get quite clammy.
Lovely.
Your skin's getting quite cold to the touch, but you're also really sweaty. And you kind of just have that constant churning in your stomach. Owen, the caravan master, looks at you, and having pulled the caravan to a stop, the civilians have pulled themselves away from you in the car. They are not. They're trying to keep their distance as best they can. Owen has pulled the cart to a stop and looks at you. Are you going to be able to continue?
For now, yes.
Are you sure?
Alura's gonna nod quite confidently, say yes.
I see. I don't want to be putting myself at risk just for your pride.
If things start to go sideways, I'll let you know.
You do that.
When are we stopping for food?
Are you hungry, Master Orc?
Yes, but I've heard some rumbly tummies as well. I look over at Alura. So it's not just me, I think.
I think it best if she does not partake in food for a while. Just in case. Don't want to waste food on someone who might not need it soon.
Oh. But that might also help her, though.
Oh, really?
We didn't see the other one eat any food, and then she turned into a thing. Like a good soup or stew, that might help.
Please feel free to start preparing this soup or stew. And we'll see if your theory comes true.
Do we have any any supplies for like meal making on this journey?
There's crates and such with various foodstuffs that you could definitely jerry rig into a stew or a soup.
I'll attempt a stew.
Okay. Obviously, making a stew is a bit more labor intensive than you perhaps have the means for right now. But you can definitely start preparing the vegetables and the bits and bobs that are going to go in there.
Okay, I'll do it.
Cool. And then at this point, it's getting to sort of late afternoon, early evening. So, it is about time to start preparing dinner for whenever the caravan stops for the night. You're plenty out of the... wait, did you already stop for the night?
I don't think we did.
We were
No,
talking about planning to stop, but I managed to convince Alura to wait for a bit.
Okay. Yes. So yeah, it's getting to sort of late evening, early evening, and the horses are starting to get tired. They've been going since early hours, and it's usually around this time when Owen does start to rein in and look for a place to stop. However, he also seems a little bit intent on continuing on for a little bit further today, perhaps to put a bit more distance between yourselves and the fungal spread. It starts getting dark, and underneath the canopy of the trees, it starts to become difficult to see. At no point in your 6-week journey has Owen dragged you this far into the night before having a rest. He does, however, continue to keep an eye on Alura. As expected. Not seeing any sort of obvious deterioration. He seems a bit more content that you're not going to just suddenly attack everyone. But that doesn't take away of his suspicion, meaning he does continue to keep an eye. He also Grant, make a perception check for me.
Okay. Yeah, I would be keeping an eye out on everything.
19. Nice. With a 19, you are keeping an eye around, kind of half giving Taryn a bit of help, but also keeping an eye on Owen passively. And as you sort of do, you keep sort of looking over towards him in time to see him turn his head away from you. Almost like he's keeping an eye on you and Tulip as well as Alura. There's definitely an element of suspicion about him now. Eventually, well into the night, it's probably been another 3 hours since Alura threw up. So we're talking about four hours since you left Summerheath. You come out into this sort of semi-glade. The trees have been cut back, and it's almost like a purpose-built glade. There's enough flat ground for caravans like this to erect tents and set camps up for the night, with piles and piles and stacks of logs ready to be cut up for firewood if necessary. And you all know places like this. These are sort of crown mandated caravan stop points. Not always able to reach them, but they're nice when you do. Owen pulls up and reins the horses in, and climbs down from the cart. Starts attending immediately to the horses, making sure that they're okay. They have done a lot of work today and been quite stressed out from the environment that they've ended up in. As a result, Owen spends a solid sort of 5 to 10 minutes calming them, talking to them, just, giving them some attention, giving them a few extra scraps of food to keep them happy before unhitching them and setting to kind of graze around and make sure that they're settled for the evening. Taryn, the guard, immediately, sort of well practiced, he kind of does the same thing to his horse, makes sure that it's okay and gives it a bit of food to keep it going, pitches it into the ground to make sure that it's got some area to graze, before doing a sweep of the perimeter. And you can just about see him by himself sweeping the whole perimeter of the glade and then continuing to patrol. He doesn't seem to stop. He doesn't stop to rest while the rest of you are setting up camp, especially the traders. They immediately just get to bringing out their own tents and setting up whatever luxuries they're able to afford themselves. After Owen has attended to his horses, he returns to the three of you. We'll set up camp here tonight, and tomorrow we'll set off, and hopefully, if we're lucky and if we push through, we can make it to Port Royal in quick time and report what we found and hopefully get people to, or find someone capable of dealing with this. I've got no idea who that could be or what they could do, though.
I'm sure we will find somebody.
Indeed. Indeed. I don't like this. That fungal growths on the floor, they were following us. They were expanding. Did you notice that?
Yes, I did notice that. I don't necessarily think it was following us on that part. I think it's just growing outwards
Expanding.
in all directions.
At an alarming pace as well.
The
There's
alarming
also-
pace is what concerns me, I will be honest. Alura, make a constitution saving throw for me.
These were
I
great
love
last time.
this.
You can do it. You didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
You kind of got used to the rocking and the movements of the cart, and it seemed to strangely settle your stomach somehow. But as the cart stops and you're no longer in motion, a few minutes into stop and into the rest or into pulling over, your stomach starts to churn again, and to begin with, you're able to hold it in, not much action, until suddenly, uncontrollably, you just start kind of erupting this pasty vomit again. Except this time, it's literally more like a bit like stuffing, really dry stuffing.
Oh.
Almost flaky. And it's less liquid and more chunked, like literal sort of chunks of vomit.
As I feel it starting to come up, am I able to try and like move away from the rest of the civilians just as much as possible, even if it's just like a few feet?
Sure, you can move away. It gives you a fair warning that it's going to happen. It's not an instantaneous,
Yeah.
thing. So you can find yourself a bit of space to, retreat to. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just follow this guy.
Okay. He's the guard. He's going to be patrolling.
Oh, okay. So where would we be?
Kind of just imagine that this middle bit of the crossroad is the camp.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be running like down here to try and get away then.
Okay. This is Owen. He's here. And then these two are the traders. They've set
Okay.
themselves up down here, kind of sort of out of the way.
Got ya.
And the guard is patrolling. Taran, the guard. I remember names. I remember the names I give everyone.
I've written them down.
Exactly, they're on pieces of paper. Tulip and Grant, while Alura disappears to throw up, what are you doing?
I am carrying on trying to get a stew together, so using some of that firewood. Guessing there's like a pot we've got or something on the cart.
Yeah, there's
Frying
camping
in some
supplies.
stuff, just trying to get a stew going.
You're starting to sound a bit like Carl Weathers from Arrested Development.
Doing my best.
It's a solid reference, that one. I'm quite proud of myself.
Yes. You got yourself a stew there.
You got yourself a stew going. Grant, How about you?
I will sort of be walking not as far out as the guard, but I will also be just walking around the area, sort of patrolling, looking on Tulip every time I go past to see how the stew looks like it's coming along,
Okay.
and kind of side-eyeing every now and then also in the direction Alura ran to see if she's coming back as her or as a tree.
It's a tree. Okay. Make a perception check for me.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is that the first one of the campaign?
Quite possibly.
I think it
Could be,
is.
actually.
You have you have exceeded expectations. You have while you're patrolling, you are on point. You have eyes glued in every direction at once, basically. Meanwhile, also keeping an eye on Alura, and basically maintaining a proximity to Taryn the guard to make sure that you're not sort of overlapping your patrol routes. And everything seems calm. You hear Alura kind of semi-retch in pain every now and then, but there do seem to still be signs of life. She's not giving off the same sort of look or symptoms that the other woman had earlier today.
Good.
Tulip,
Yes.
eventually you managed to get yourself a fire going. You've already prepared all the veggies and everything. You are pretty well set for your stew. And you pop it on the fire that you've managed to get yourself roaring, and within a fair while you achieve your goal. You've got yourself a stew. And a few tastes every now and then. Could do with a bit of seasoning, but we'll take what you can get. It's a perfectly acceptable stew.
Yeah, I'm not too fussy with food as long as it's warm and got some sustenance. It'll do me.
Eventually, Grant, you can kind of smell the stew before you see it. It does smell appealing. Owen comes over, sits down around the fire. The two other traders come round and they join you, each taking a bowl.
So I'll probably get a bowl and take it to Alura.
Okay. As you come over, you can see on the floor around her just like chunks of the same sort of fungus that you saw at Summerheath briefly while you were paying attention.
Here's some food. It should taste better if you have to throw it up than that stuff looks like it tastes. You know?
Thank you, I do appreciate it.
Should we burn that?
Probably best.
Okay, I don't know who. Someone did something earlier. I kind of just about saw it. I don't know who it was.
I mean, we have torches, don't we?
Yes.
So,
Okay.
yeah. Alura will light one of her torches and see if it'll set the fungus on fire.
It does. Goes up in flames.
Nice. Is it like a little bonfire?
For a few seconds, yeah. The fire just kind of rips through it. It doesn't really have time to turn into a proper fire. It's kind of like burning thin paper. It just kind of straight through it.
Cool.
Oh, that's good. It burns nice and quickly, that.
It does.
Don't go
And,
too far, by the way.
Sorry?
Don't go too far.
I won't, don't worry.
Okay.
Alura would like to taste some of Tulip soup while he's here.
Okay. We won't tell Tulip that you mistook his stew for a soup.
Oh, stew, sorry.
Don't want to hurt his feelings, you know, he did make that for you. You taste it, and the first spoonful doesn't really taste of anything because you still have that nasty sort of fungally taste in your mouth. A few spoonfuls later, after you haven't thrown anything up, you can start to get the taste, and it does taste quite nice.
Cool. Yeah. So while she's eating it, Alura would like to make a point of the fact that she's enjoying it.
Okay. Seems wise.
I'm glad you like it.
Thank you very much.
It always makes me feel better. Some kind of magical soup or a stew. Shoot. Magical stew, as far as I'm aware. I'll make sure I can get some before everyone else takes some.
Have you actually had any yet?
No.
You get back to the pot you were cooking it in, and there's just enough for about 2 spoonfuls left.
Oh.
No. That's okay. I love it.
Oh, I got this wrong. This guy here. This one is Owen. Oopsie. It's fine. This trader here, the human, Eunice, kind of looks at you a little bit sheepishly. And he just says, "Were we supposed to save you some?"
No. I had a few bits while I was cooking. It's okay. It's okay. There's probably some berries around anyway, right?
Hopefully. I didn't realise
Poor
you hadn't
human.
eaten any already.
That's okay. It's okay. No harm done.
That's like happening. Grant sees this and he will go up to Tulip and go, "Tulip, have my bowl. I haven't started eating yet, but you were the one that cooked it. So let's swap. I'll have what's left. You have my bowl."
Why don't we just share it?
If you're happy with that, that actually works.
Yeah, we'll share it. It'll be enough. It'll be enough. I'm good at finding berries, and I can go and find some, and we can have some nice berries as well. Yeah. Let's share it. I guess I'll pour half of it into a bowl and add it to whatever was left in the other stuff, and
Yeah, equal it out.
eat it down, and then go look for some berries and see what I can find.
Okay. You managed to get a respectable bowl full each. Make a nature check for looking for the berries for me, please.
I will eat them.
You find a few berries that have a kind of nice purple tinge to them, and they look a bit like what you imagine blackcurrants would look like. And you pick them up. They seem feel like they've got a bit of a squish to them. Take a quick bite to make sure it's, edible. Sweet. Bit sharp. A little bit of a bitter aftertaste. But there's lots of them.
Okay. Because I've never been really allowed to to get my own. I'm gonna get a pile of them and just take them back to other people and see if they like the look of them.
Okay. You return to the camp with a huge kind of bowl full, basically, of these berries, make like plenty of them, and you kind of start handing them to people, sort of, offering them. Owen and the two traders just kind of shake their head, refusing. Taryn looks at them a bit suspiciously and just like, I'll be okay with my rations.
Okay. But no one seemed to be like, oh, they're bad berries.
No one's sort of warned you off them.
I'll start having a few. Not loads, because I had quite a good amount of stew in the end, but a couple at least.
Couple. Sure. Like I said, they're sharp, sweet, and chewy.
I'll save the rest.
You're not even going to offer them some to Grant.
Oh yeah, I thought, yeah. I mean, anyone can have some. Grant, do you want some berries?
No, my friend. This stew was enough for me.
Okay.
You are exceptional at cooking, surprisingly.
Okay. I mean, I've been around for a while. I mean, I can look after myself. Oh, and what about the horses? Do they want some berries, do you think?
Owen looks over at you. They're happy with their oats.
Okay. I'll just cross my legs and sit down next to the fire.
Taryn doesn't hear you ask the question, so doesn't answer.
Okay.
You're sitting next to the fire. You start to feel a little bit lightheaded. How many berries did you eat?
3 or 4, should we
3 or
say?
4. Okay. You start to feel a little bit lightheaded. And as you kind of look at the fire, even if it's sort of involuntarily, is it like just in your periphery, make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Mm-hmm.
We're all doing so well.
Nice.
Nice.
You feel that little bit lightheaded, and you kind of get a little bit spaced out. But it sort of wears off quite quickly.
These are good berries. I'll start giggling to myself.
Nice. Yeah, eventually the night draws in. The traders go to sleep. They just kind of get up off from the campfire and just head to their beds. Separate tents, obviously. They are rivals after all. Owen calls to Taryn. You've been on watch now for hours. You should take some time for yourself and have a rest. And Taryn kind of stops and turns. You can see that he's tired. He's visibly exhausted. He has been kind of on watch, on guard around the camp for multiple hours by himself, let alone the entire day that he spent riding. Not to mention the emotional turmoil he's been through today. And he just returns with as tired as I am the only guard left. I must do my job. And Owen's just sort of, nope, You must rest, otherwise you won't be much use tomorrow. One of these three will take your watch and rotate, won't you? And he kind of looks at the three of you in sort of sequence and sort of looks like glares at you sternly.
Yeah, because of hearing this, I was like in that position of halfway getting up, but not fully. So I get up fully, I kind of side-eye him and go, I take the first watch. I would have offered, but you didn't give any of us a chance.
Owen nods. It's settled then. Taryn, get some sleep. Taryn kind of climbs up on the wagon and literally just lies down and falls asleep. You can hear him softly snoring almost immediately. Thank you. I'll trust the three of you to sort out watches for the rest of the night. It's time for me to retire to sleep. And he kind of goes to check on his horses one last time and then heads to his own tent for his night's rest. Grant, you're then left with just your companions. Alura, you are still feeling a bit sickly, but your stomach has settled a bit now. You're less on the brink of throwing up. Still feeling very clammy. But other than that, you are not feeling better, but you're not feeling worse.
Okay.
Are you two going to go to sleep, or are you going to stay up for a little bit longer?
I think we should speak to Grant and figure out what kind of watch schedule we're going to do.
Okay.
I think
That's really smart, actually.
You don't have to sound so surprised.
It's more I don't fully know you yet, and the only person I've been by the side with a lot is Tulip, who is better at taking instructions than figuring them out himself.
Yeah, I'd agree to that.
What you then?
The plan I was coming up with is because you, Alura, are still looking completely out of it. You need rest. So if you go to sleep now, and Tulip, you also go to bed, I will wake Tulip up next, and then Tulip can decide on whether or not he wants to wake up you, Alura, or me, or one of the guards, or someone else.
Okay. Under normal circumstances, I would obviously volunteer and help. But I do agree, I think I need a bit of rest.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what's happened, so it's best just to save as much of your strength as possible.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Okay, well, I'll go find my bedroll and throw it down, I guess. It's a bit fuzzy, I'm guessing, from the funny berries.
Feel a bit fuzzy, yeah. You're still feeling that little bit of lightheadedness, but it's nowhere near as it was.
Okay. Have we got our own tent, or...?
Yeah, you've all got your own camping supplies,
Okay.
so you can all sleep individually. I
Cool,
assume
get
at
the
some
tent.
I assume at some point in the last few hours you've set your own camping situation up.
I forgot.
Oh, I just have a bedroll. I sleep under the stars.
I was busy looking at after the food, but I do it now. In the dark.
Oh god, it's like forgetting to make your bed before you go to bed, and then you kind of have to rush to do it, and like whatever time you go to bed, you're
It's
really
like,
tired.
Can we see how much Tulip is struggling? Because if he's struggling, I'll go over and help him.
Depends. Can you see in the dark?
I can.
Good, because I can't.
Yeah, Grant. All you can see is by like what light is coming off the campfire. Yeah, it's probably best to just leave him to it.
I wouldn't. For my watch, I definitely am not going anywhere further than what the light from the campfire is showing. But if there is a noise or something, I am willing to pull out a torch. So.
Okay. Okay. As you all settle down for your rest, and Grant, you settle down for your watch, you are kind of keeping an eye out. Not being able to see in the dark, it's quite difficult to keep watch, because it's easy to get blinded by the fire. Just from sort of staring in that direction, it can, send you a bit higgledy-piggledy.
Yeah.
Roll a perception check with disadvantage for me. Oh, excuse me.
With disadvantage.
With
oh,
disadvantage.
No.
Nice.
That's not too bad, actually.
Could have been worse. You are unable to. You're unable to see too far in the distance, so your effectiveness is already sort of limited. And there's a sort of constant nagging fear, or feeling, sorry, of like the fungus that was just spreading naturally or unnaturally, or however it was spreading. So there's constant sort of like mini hallucinations, you just keep imagining that you see things in the dark, where you can just see the fungus creeping along the floor in the sort of dim haze of darkness. And as you go over to check it out, there's nothing there. That's kind of how your watch continues.
Yeah.
Until it's time for you to wake up, whomsoever you wish to wake up.
I will go over to. I'm assuming at least Tulip should be somewhere close to the edge of the light. I hope he's not actually gone into the darkness. He's out of the bed.
We're lucky, yeah.
And yeah, I go up to Tulip, give him a good old like prod with the bottom end of my trident that's blunt, because I don't want to stab him. Try and wake him up.
Is it morning already?
No, it's still nighttime, but it's your watch.
Okay. I'll get up. I don't really wear armor, so.
Yeah, there's nothing to.
Do I wear armor? No, I don't, do I? No. So I'll just get up. Okay. And then I'll just start wandering around.
Okay.
Keeping an eye out. Probably won't have any more berries, but we'll see how bored I get.
Okay.
Just on my way to bed, I'm just thinking, he didn't even wait for me to give him an instruction. He just walked off.
So single-minded, I love it.
Sleepy.
Just, yeah, suppose I go bed.
So you head off to your bed, which is the floor.
Yeah, it's a bedroll on the floor under the stars.
Tulip, roll perception check for me. 10. Nice. You're able to see a bit further into the darkness, which is helpful. But aside from that, you're not really able to see much else. And, you know, there's probably so many other better things you could be doing. You know, this is quite boring. However, overall, your watch does pass without incident.
Okay. I might add a little bit of water to my plant.
Okay. Okay, it's always good to
Just a
keep
little
up
bit.
maintenance.
Is the guard in a tent or sleeping out in the open?
He's out in the open. He literally climbed up onto the back of the cart and just fell asleep.
Okay. If they were in tents, I was gonna I wouldn't know which one it was gonna be, and I was just gonna open a random one and tell him it was their watch. But because I know where he is, I'll go up there and I'll be like, "Excuse me, excuse me. We've done some watches already. I don't want to wake up Alura because she was a bit unwell. Do you mind taking the next one, or I could just do the next one again if you want. I don't mind."
Roll a persuasion check for me.
Wait, is this a persuasion so Tulip does do the next one? I'm confused.
No, this is persuasion to see if he can persuade Taryn to stop
Oh,
pretending to be
okay.
asleep and to actually get up and do it. You kind of talk gently to him, and for a moment there is something that tells you that he's maybe not asleep, maybe he's actually awake and you know, listening to you. And then a few more seconds pass and there's no movement or anything, so you kind of resign yourself to another 2 hours of watching, and then eventually he kind of just sits up. He's like, "Oh, fine, I wasn't asleep anyway. Go to sleep."
Okay. No. So then Chip just standing there like, conversation. Nope.
Nope. Taryn gets up and just starts patrolling again, doing his usual thing. But you can see that he's visibly and physically exhausted. But he gets up without too much complaining and just starts doing his patrolling. As all of you sleep, Alura, you are... Make a wisdom save for me, please. Nice. Nice. That's 3 in one session. We didn't have a single one last week, and we've got 3 now.
In fact, we've all got one.
You've all got one.
Yay!
Teamwork.
Then it's not con saves then.
Yeah.
While you're asleep, Alura, you do dream. And the dream is not a pleasant one, let's put it that way. There's a very kind of sinister vibe to it, where the further and further into the dream you get, the more unsettled you get, the more uncertain of whether you actually want to be here or not. This is the kind of dream where it feels real. You can feel the surface under your feet that kind of almost like a water mattress gives way underneath your feet, and you do sort of fall a few centimeters into the ground every time you take a step, and there is a smell in the air that you can almost taste. It's that thick, and it does kind of lead you to wonder whether it's time to wake up yet, but you just can't seem to bring yourself to do it. And there's also that kind of feeling of invincibility you get when you're asleep. You just think, this will be fine. What could go wrong? So you just continue, you keep plodding on. There's no detail in the kind of landscape or in the surroundings. You've just got a floor that's squidgy and a smell that's putrid.
Mm-hmm.
Until ahead of you kind of see a very vague and sort of almost pixelated in kind of how your brain perceives it, of something very tall and thin and a lot of different kind of colors that you would perhaps expect to see on rot or rotten things. And the closer you get, the more your subconscious tells you that you should move away, until eventually you just manage to pull yourself away from that situation. You feel your feet leave the floor and you've kind of just literally float away from the situation and wake up. The campfire has died down and the sun has started rising. Owen is already awake and is preparing his horses. The traders are sort of sorting themselves out, and you can see Taryn still patrolling.
Okay, and how am I feeling once I've woken up?
Hungover is probably a good word. That kind of horrible headache and just feeling of lethargy is like overcoming you at the moment. Very strong urge to just drink.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take some water from my water skin then.
You have a swig, and immediately the first thing you notice is that the kind of grainy, gritty feeling at the back of your throat is gone. And,
okay.
The water settles in your stomach. You don't feel sick.
Okay. Can I try and give myself like a once over like I would with a patient?
Yeah.
Like kind of like mentally see like what's happening.
Make a medicine check for me. Nice. You feel a bit less clammy. There's still... You're still not 100%. You've still got that kind of sort of sweatiness to you. And you're still not feeling 100% back to normal, which kind of implies that whatever was wrong with you hasn't fully passed. But there are no other outward symptoms.
Okay. And can I see either Grant or Tulip awake?
They are just starting to wake up, if they want to.
I think
Yeah,
that's
Grant would be up quite early because of his lifestyle, so...
Alright. So yeah, Grant's awake. And Tulip's also starting to rise.
Okay. I'll send Grant another message
Mm-hmm.
to let him know that I'm feeling a lot better this morning. And while I'm sending him that, I'm going to start walking over to Owen to let him know that I'm also feeling a lot better this morning.
Okay.
To hopefully try and like reassure people a little bit.
As you approach Owen, he's definitely giving you the stink eye. He's looking you over, like openly, just kind of staring at you up and down.
Yeah, I don't care.
Morning.
Morning. I think I have some rather good news for you today.
Really? Do you enlighten me?
Hmm?
Do you enlighten me?
I'm feeling much better than I was yesterday. I am currently not feeling like I'm going to be sick anytime soon. And I'm hoping that I will be able to keep out of the way and just help in any way that I can to get us to the city on time. I just wanted to kind of put a bit of reassurance in your head.
I see. I appreciate the reassurance. I'll still be keeping an eye on you, though. No funny business, please.
Of course. Do what you feel like you need to do. And with that, I'll leave and head back over to like my stuff to make sure I'm packing up.
Okay. Sort of another 45 minutes of morning routine of packing up the camps, making sure everyone's fed, and making sure the horses are fit for the day. And unless there's anything else you wish to do, you're on your way.
Nothing from me? Don't know about the other two.
Don't think so. I think we're good. I'm good.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Alura would like to tell Tulip, thank you very much again for the stew last night. It has helped me greatly.
I did tell you. A magic stew.
Magic stew.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. People think I don't, but I know what I'm doing.
I believe you.
Okay. As you all clamber back onto the cart for the continuation of your journey, Grant, make a perception check for me, please.
Nice.
Off in this direction, coming from this way. That's the wrong thing. As you're kind of pulling away, you are convinced, quite reasonably, that you can see the roots and the sort of reaching roots of the fungus kind of starting to spread into the glade that you've just spent the night in.
Okay. And I'm pretty sure its roots are not like anything I saw last night. The weird hallucination things.
This time it seems more real.
Okay.
The little bits of light that are flying, or sort of shining through the canopy of the trees, don't make a difference because you're in a glade where there is no canopy of the trees, so you can see it quite clearly.
See it coming out from the trees, shall we say?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm not going to panic. I will turn to Owen and say, Owen, how long do you think we were stationary for? How long do you think we slept?
About 10 hours in total, I think.
Okay. Just 'cause I'm pretty sure I just saw the roots come over or out from behind the trees as we pulled away.
Okay.
So if we travel a day, we are most likely safe the night, as long as there's no speed up on these routes.
Oh, that's what worries me. There's an inconsistency in how fast it seems to be spreading.
Yeah, and the only thing we know about it at the moment is fire is effective.
At least against some of it.
I mean, I burnt one of the big bushes of fungal in town to get some weapons back that had been lost in one of the areas, and it got rid of most of it quite quickly.
That's good to know. It's good to know.
I feel like we will need to employ or get the help of someone that has innate knowledge of fire magic.
No, she's not in this campaign.
I don't know who you're on about.
Perhaps. But we also need to try and avoid burning down the forest if we can help it.
Yeah, I get that. I really do, but I personally feel like the way this fungus is spreading, anything it's already touched has been lost.
True. True. Keep an eye out. We need to keep an eye.
Yes, I will keep an eye out. You keep the horses on a nice clean path to the town, and hopefully we can come up with some solution there.
Hopefully. I believe in us. And he kind of just goes and flips his reins, and the horses just step away immediately. And the day's travel begins. Both Alura and Grant make perception checks for me. Okay. Grant.
Yes.
Yes. As you're leaving the glade, that song ended abruptly. As you're leaving the glade, you can see that there's just like a sort of a group of birds just kind of flying overhead. And then about an hour into the sort of day's travel, you come into another open area of trees where the canopy kind of pulls away slightly, and you can see another group of birds kind of just like flying around in circles, flying forwards a bit, and just kind of progressing at their own pace. it takes a little bit of time for you to realize that they look like the same group of birds.
Okay.
And then a little bit of panic starts to set in as that group of birds kind of starts swarming towards you all. There's no mark for... There's no, like... Hang on. Oh, God, I should have planned this in advance.
I was going to say, as Grant, I guess, comes to the realization then of these are the same birds, is there enough time for Grant to at least point them out to the people in the caravan?
Just about.
Okay, because that's what I will do. Grant will point out that, look at these birds. This is odd. They've been following us. I don't know what they're going to do. So, hopefully everyone should be more focused on the birds, basically.
Yeah, Tulip's very focused on the birds. Does he have time to put a berry in his hand to see if they're hungry? Because I was actually thinking the whole way of like trying to like feed some birds of berries as we were going. And then randomly you said about loads of birds. I was like, oh.
You can pull out some berries if you want to.
It might be hungry birds. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you can try it. You take out like a handful of berries and kind of hold them out on your hand.
Yeah.
And for a second, there's a sort of moment where you think, oh, they're just hungry, because they do come towards you.
Cool.
Oh, wait, hang on. Go away. Oh, no. Aha! There's a crow. As they get closer, you can see, like, they're black, they're crows. They're just sort of swarming in at the 7 of you, essentially. There's dozens of them. They just come in. And as they go for the berries, a couple of them do pick some berries off your hand, but make sure to pinch the skin at the same time. And the rest just start pecking down on all of you. The one without an image won't delete, which is really annoying. So just go for the one that has an image of a crow. Very strange, because now it's stuck underneath. I've done this really well. I'm such a professional.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I'm pretty sure that we can only see the one that's got the picture anyway.
Oh, I'm glad you can.
Yeah, that's what I can see.
Like,
Yeah,
we can see like a little weird black triangle on it. Can you guys see that?
At the top, yeah,
Yeah, but
of that square. I think that's the shadow of the tree, though, because other trees have them.
It's literally
okay.
the very top of the swarm of crows that isn't the one I want. It's fine. It's fine. So yes, I would like you all to roll initiative, please.
oh no.
You can all see that as well. I didn't want both of them. Damn it. You can all see that they're not normal. There's definitely something wrong with them. Okay, Alura. With a 19 initiative, nice.
Holy shit.
I know. That's actually a good roll.
Okay, so Laura is going to cast aid,
All right.
just to try and make sure everybody stays okay. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what it wants me to do for this on here. So basically, I'll cast it on myself, and then obviously Tulip and Grant, for the extra 5 HP.
Yep. So your max hit points increased by 5.
8 hours. Nice. Guess I can change this to 40 now, I guess.
Yep.
40 out of 30. Oh, my max as well, so 40 out of
Yeah.
40 then for now. Or...
40
Yeah.
out of 40.
I might leave it 40 out of 35 in case it doesn't change back. I don't know. Or
Yeah, it is only temporary, so
Oh, wait, if I go 5 temporary max. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm on 31 now, so nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay, so describe your aid. How does it look? What's it look like?
nothing too fancy, just some sparkles really. Just kind of like fly over myself and Tulip and Grant. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Nice and subtle.
Nice and subtle. With glitter.
And that'll do it.
All right. The swarm of crows are going to come in and they're going to kind of focus in on Tulip. And they're going to start pecking away at you.
Ooh. One each.
No, it's a swarm.
No, I mean like one berry each.
One berry each. Oh,
That makes total sense.
I don't think 11 hits, does it?
No, I'm not too bad actually. No.
No. Okay, you don't take any damage. You manage to just kind of like hunker down slightly so that they can't get to you. And yes, that is your turn.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Do any of them get messy with the berries by any chance? The ones that ate them. Does that affect them in any way?
It's difficult to tell. It's
Couple
difficult
get more chill.
It's difficult to sort of describe or decide and know whether Tulip would notice.
Okay.
But these birds look a bit like the woman that you had to fight off yesterday.
Okay.
Oh no, they're mouldy.
Yeah,
Ew.
they're mouldy.
Okay. Well, I'm not really angry at the moment, but they were picking me a little bit, so I'm just going to go for a swing my axe at them to try to like disperse them.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go for a swing.
A swing. All right. Roll
Get
for an
away.
attack. Wow, that definitely hits.
Oh, love it.
11. Wow. Oops, not that one. That one. Cool. You kind of swing your axe wildly in the air, and with that one swing, you manage to just obliterate, and I mean like properly obliterate, probably about 7 or 8 birds that happen to be flying in that sort of flight path. As you swing, and they're just kind of torn apart, quite literally, and bits of guts and feathers and all sorts just fly across the into the air, all over you, all over your companions, all over the floor, the cart, everything.
Ooh, I didn't want to hurt them that much. Just be a bit aggressive. I've got no bonus actually. I'm going to do right now. I don't think I'm not angry.
All right.
So I'm just going to end my turn.
Okay. Don't worry, Tulip. They kind of look like the weird mold creatures, fungus creatures, whatever they were that attacked us in the town the other day. And I will pull out my blowgun.
Okay.
I'm not risking throwing my trident while on a moving cart.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, crazy.
Nice.
Loaded dice today.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Hacks. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, double damage. Look at that.
Gotta love that.
So that's what, 4 damage?
I guess, unless it rolled.
No, that
Yeah,
is the double.
That's
isn't
double.
it?
That's 2 points of damage.
Did it? I rolled a 1, did it? Amazing.
You pull out your blowgun, and you're just following the trajectory of one of the birds in the sky, and you just kind of shoot out the dart, and it lands directly through its neck, and it falls to the floor. But there are still dozens of others just kind of still flying around.
Well, I will use my my Kenton shot as my bonus action to use another blowgun shot attack.
Okay,
So this hits.
that hits.
Yeah. And because this is a Kenshin shot, I get 1d4 extra damage on top of it. So that's 4.
4. Nice. Okay, this time your dart is projected so powerfully that it flies through one of the crows and into another. 2 for 1.
Nice.
Nice.
And then, yeah, I'll just end my turn there.
Okay. Before it's your turn, Alura, I forgot to put Taryn in the initiative order because I'm really clever. He's just gonna Sacred Flame,
Nice.
which is a dexterity saving throw. Meets it, beats it. Nice. Okay, doesn't take any damage either. You can just hear him go, ah, damn it, as this bolt of flame just flies off into the air. Now it's your turn, Alura.
Okay, cool. I am going to summon my spiritual weapon.
Alright.
And I'm going to have it just... Oh. Okay, I'm going to have a flying dagger, apparently.
And it's massive.
It is very big. I thought it was only supposed to be 5 foot.
There's your flaming sphere from last time. You should be able to control
thank
that.
you. Yes, so I'll have it here.
Dum, 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 dum.
And yeah, so again, this just massive frying pan.
Yep.
And just going to try and swat away at some of the birds.
Okay, so roll for an attack.
I don't know why this never works. Like, I'm clicking apply active effects and it doesn't do anything.
Because that was the sword thingy.
Right, okay. So, what do you want me to do to roll for this?
I think you've got a +5 spell attack modifier. Wisdom plus proficiency. Yeah, 5. So roll
yeah, that's right.
d20 +5.
That was it. +5.
13 hits, I believe. Yes.
Nice. And then damage is 1d8 plus spell casting.
Again, +3, I believe.
Does my spell casting not include my proficiency then?
Yes,
Should
it
do.
does. So +5,
So it should be a +5 again, yeah. Cool.
which is probably for
Nice.
the best. Probably for the best. You send your spiritual weapon, your frying pan, and it just like swings through, and it manages to swat about 7 or 8 birds as it just like swings through the air magically. They all just kind of fall to the floor dead. Some of them exploding on impact, others just kind of like flopping and landing on the ground. There is 1 bird remaining, and it's still kind of like flying around and being a menace. Is that your turn?
I can't use a second spell as an action, can I?
No. It'd have to be
No.
a cantrip.
Yeah, I've got nothing that'll be good on the bird. Yeah, that's going to be my turn.
All right. Cool. It is the bird's turn. It is going to attack. It is going to attack Tulip. I said it's going to attack Tulip. Oh no.
It's high. It doesn't know what it's doing.
It's currently waiting for the pop-up to happen so that I can actually do it.
Oh no.
I don't understand why some things are lagging and some aren't. It doesn't matter. It's a +4 to hit. Whoopsie. 12.
Afraid not.
Great. That was a useful monster. It just continues trying to peck away at you, Tulip. It is your turn.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep like, as much as the last turn was like a flower to clear it. There's only 1 left now. I'm just gonna be like, oh, sorry, bird, but you do look a bit sick, and I'm gonna just attack that last remaining bird.
11 misses, unfortunately.
Oh no!
It's just a bit too flighty. It's got a bit too much to it. You don't
It
manage
was
to.
easy when there was more of them.
Yeah. This one just manages to dodge and weave.
Okay. Grant, you good with that blow dart? You can get it. It's gonna be a hard shot though.
Well, we'll see. And yeah. Blow it.
It definitely hits.
Yeah.
The precision.
Ah, max damage as well.
Is that all it does?
It only does 2 damage.
Oh my god. Oh, well, it's okay because it had 1 hit point. So,
Nice.
you fire off this last dart from your blowgun, and it just basically, as the bird squawks and tries to come back down for another attack on Tulip, the dart just flies through its throat and out sort of the back of its spine, and is basically just skewered.
Told ya.
You were right. I managed to hit it.
And with that,
Ooh. Should we burn them?
I mean,
That-
are we,
yeah, might not be a bad idea.
is the caravan still moving at this point?
yeah, you've been moving the
Oh.
whole time. The entire
Okay.
encounter, the 2 traders were trying to stay low, take cover, while Owen just kept the cart moving.
Okay.
Yeah, Grant. Maybe say we should stop and burn them, or I don't know.
ask. Yeah, I'll ask Owen, and then I'll turn. Owen, we need to burn these birds because they look like they were infected by the fungus, and if their bodies start spreading that stuff, they're now further ahead than the main source. We don't want that spreading.
We have a choice to make, though. Either we stop every time something fungusy appears, or we just keep going and make it to the city as quickly as possible.
Taryn, do you perhaps have the energy to use your fire magic? It would probably save us some time.
He kind of sighs deeply. Fine. And he just
Thank
kind
you.
of mutters an incantation and just burst of fire down on it.
Thank you.
I guess if it's going to spread anyway, maybe it's going to be silly to stop every time, but this might be the only time we get attacked.
Maybe.
Tulip is right there. They were birds that flew, so if there's other creatures that have been infected by this fungus and that are quicker, we don't even know where it could be spreading. It's worrying.
The irony of having an infected passenger.
Alura,
Yes.
there's... Make a perception check for me. Wow. Clutch rolls when needed.
I know, right?
There seems to be something off in the distance. You're not quite sure how far, but you feel connected to it somehow. And
Oh no.
you kind of feel weirdly pulled to it, but in a sort of curious way, like in curiosity, not just sort of a desire.
Okay.
That's it.
Is it just kind of like a feeling in a certain direction, or can I actually see something, or?
You can't see anything, no, but there's a feeling in a sort of general direction to if the road is going this way, which it is, you're kind of being pulled off in that direction. Which
I'll ask Owen if he knows of anything significant in that direction.
not that I'm aware of now.
Okay. I'm gonna keep quiet about that.
Okay. The most concerning thing you can probably gather at the moment about it is the fact that you're being pulled off into what is essentially dense forest.
Okay.
That's kind of all you can see about this place at the moment. It's just a dense forest where, you know, yeah.
No, that's fine.
Okay. And with that, we'll go for a quick break. Quick toilet break if you need it. We will be right back. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves.
Yes, I shall be back.
Yeah, might as well.
Yep, no worries. Speak to you in a bit.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Hello.
So, not dead yet.
No, I'm kind of glad. I was hoping that it was something kind of like a cold rather than a mutation or a death thing.
Yeah. Oh, I think he's took pity on me.
Yeah. Plus, it's so early in the game to have someone just instantly die.
Yep.
Be a big, like, F you.
Might affect like magical people, like us adventurers a bit more hardy, aren't we?
Yes. I mean, from the sounds of it, you're getting pulled into a direction, and we know how that worked. Vic had that happen to him.
Can only go well, right?
Well, in this one, I doubt it, but in Vic's case, it actually did help him.
Oh yeah, I just went off, didn't I?
Yeah, and you met the what was it? A fern? A fawn?
It's like
Something
a
from the Feywild.
fey something,
Yeah, it gave
Ooh.
you
fey demigod
magical
or something. I don't know.
ability with insight into the future.
Ooh.
And a bonus action, a
Yeah.
fey misty step thing, which I don't use much because I save it
That's
for
cool.
emergencies. Yeah, good for a fighter when you can't really do much like normally.
I get the impression that that is not quite what I would be getting if I just went wandering into the forest.
You might get some new abilities. Devour human.
Yeah. Not sure how much of Alura would end up coming back, but
Like, your hair and your skin turn green.
Yeah, I think he might be an NPC after that.
yeah.
And you could just be like, oh, how weird. My new character is weirdly innate in fire.
Oh yeah.
Who would have known?
Who could
Oh
ever
no,
have
it's
guessed?
it's my twin sister, Malura, the Fire Witch.
Yes.
Illuminator.
Amazing.
It's written in the stars. But hey, it's a very defeatist attitude. Who says I'm going to kill you?
I didn't say you were going to kill me.
Hmm.
We were talking about that you would give my character some amazing new abilities and turn me into an NPC.
I mean, that's more likely, to be honest. To be honest.
I mean, if we get a treant on our side, I'll take it. I've seen the stats of one of them just recently.
That would be
They're
pretty
pretty
cool.
powerful.
We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, onwards.
Like a mobile treehouse.
That's an amazing idea for like a mount or a character.
Isn't it?
It just carries like essentially a massive tent on its back.
Yeah.
You can just rotate rests. Anyway,
We'll put some hammocks in the branches.
you and your companions, you continue your journey, and despite the little hiccup of being attacked by like that swarm of decaying, rotting, fungal crows, the rest of the day generally passes without incident. The roads are very quiet. There doesn't seem to be anybody around.
Okay, would you say we've been traveling for more than 8 hours or less? I just want to know because of the extra hit points.
You haven't got that far yet, no.
Oh, okay.
About sort of early afternoon, Owen pulls over. He's been kind of keeping an eye on the three of you the whole journey so far. I just need to stop for a minute.
Of course.
Been a lot to take in the last couple of days. A lot of friends that I've probably lost now. It's hard to take. And now he kind of points to you, Alura.
Mm-hmm.
And now you are whatever you are.
I'm a halfling?
It's getting difficult to trust you. Less and less so. More and more so difficult, I guess.
I mean, I just helped fight off the flock of birds. I've not puked all day.
Just seems so sudden. You start throwing up and vomiting, and then suddenly overnight you stop.
Well, Tulip made me some magic stew. And it helped a lot, thank you very much.
And
That's how it stops, isn't it? I've plenty of nights I've been throwing up or, other things, and all of a sudden it just stops.
I don't think that's one of these situations.
Oh.
Personally.
Yeah, everyone, you're going completely off topic. Owen, she's with me and Tulip now. We are a team, and I will be watching over her. If anything happens, I'll deal with it. You need to back off a little and let us work, as we are the only ones that seem to be capable of defending this caravan at the moment.
Very well. But be warned, if there's any more funny business, it's a long walk to Port Royal.
Why would you get off the cart then?
Yes, Tulip, he will get off the cart.
Wouldn't recommend that, and all of that stuff catching up.
He gets back up on his seat and just kind of sends the horses on their way, and they just start clip-clapping away. He's just shaking his head.
Allura is going to whisper thanks to both Grant and Tulip.
I give a nod.
I didn't hear. I was just smiling, looking around. I wasn't even threatening the person on the Owen or anything.
And now, rather than just my focus being on watching the surrounding area, is kind of now split on half watching the area and half watching Owen.
Okay. Make a perception check for me.
Ooh.
Yeah. Splitting your attention probably wasn't the best idea because you're not quite sure where to look. So you don't really catch anything different.
Okay. It all seems fine then.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. What could possibly be going wrong right now?
Now that Grant seems a little bit more distracted, Alura would like to also start keeping a lookout on, making sure nothing's sneaking up on us, or there's no more birds coming towards us.
All right. Make a perception check too, please.
Oh, good. I didn't have to do anything.
Oh yeah, you're a halfling. You get rerolls. That's so cool.
Yeah. It's.
I feel like I should have taken the lucky feat with how many bad rolls I've had.
True.
But
True.
But then I wouldn't have Warcaster, so
But like
But
they
yay.
say, hindsight and all that.
exactly.
With a 17, keeping a lookout to sort of make sure that there's nothing else sneaking up on you. Seems clear. For now. Eerily quiet.
Cool.
Like, that is noticeable.
Mm.
But other than that, nothing else seems to...
I'd probably just assume that the fungus crows scared them off.
Yeah, makes sense. Reasonable thinking. Continuing on, we head further into the afternoon, closer to evening. The sun starts to get lower in the sky, and as you continue on through the forest,
I'll make a perception check for something,
if you wish.
just to see if I can sense the tension in the air.
That'd be
Or
more,
do I just sense it?
that'd be more
Insight.
insight.
Do I sense the tension? Or do you want me to roll for it? It's up to you.
You can roll.
Okay.
We'll see what comes up. Using your keen kind of social skills,
Mm-hmm.
you are very aware that there's something a bit off between Owen and the rest of the people on the cart.
Okay. In that case, I'd like to try to lift some spirits by playing a tune on my flute.
Okay, go for it. Roll a performance check for me. With advantage, you are proficient.
But I've got a -1 for performance.
Squeaky
Yeah,
non-panic
before I start,
fails.
I'd like to say, okay, this is not because of any danger. I'm just going to play.
He says that calmly and softly, but then proceeds to play like he's in the middle of battle. It's loud, shrill, and tuneless.
I love it.
Not what you would kind of consider, calming music.
Yeah,
I-
Grant like puts one finger in his ear and rubs it around, just kind of squeaming, and he's like, "You did better work when we were actually fighting the creatures."
Oh, well, I tried my best. And I put it away.
Yeah, maybe now's not the time.
But maybe I just needed to distract everyone, and I did my job. And I'll be happy with a smiley face.
Okay. As the night draws in more, I'm just going to keep reusing the same map because it's here and I may as well. Let's
Just we found another open space. It looks exactly like the old one.
How surprising. Let me just do some...
Who's doing that? Who's moving the cart with their mind?
It was me all along. I am
God.
Supreme Grandmaster Sorcerer.
Start floating up in the air.
After all this time, it's revealed that Tulip is indeed a wild magic sorcerer.
Like, immediately, I just bow down to him.
Yeah, as the night draws in, you can sort of see Owen in the driving seat of the cart kind of start to doze a little bit more. He's yawning quite regularly, which is making me yawn. And he's, clearly starting to get to the end of his energy levels for the day. And then all of a sudden you hear him just kind of say, "What's that?" And he pulls the cart to a stop. Can anyone see that? Everyone make a perception check for me.
Which way is you technically pointing us to?
The way the cart's going.
Okay.
Nice. Grant, who can't see in the dark, and Tulip, who generally isn't very perceptive. Anyway.
Yeah.
Alura, in the middle of the road ahead of you, sat kind of cross-legged, just kind of fiddling with something in its hand. Looks sort of humanoid, but also difficult to tell in the dark. There's a creature, person, being, thing, just sat.
Is it facing us, or does it look like it's facing away?
Facing you.
Crap, so it's probably seen us then.
It would appear so.
I mean, there's only really one way to go, right?
As you say that, you just hear a voice from that direction. "Hello there. It's nice of you to finally see me."
Do I hear it, or is it like in
All
my
of-
head?
All of you hear it.
Cool.
It's a voice that kind of echoes down the road, in between the trees, and it kind of sort of reverberates slightly. Alura, this voice seems to draw you in slightly.
Okay.
As the voice sort of stops ringing, the creature speaks again. "I was hoping you'd see me earlier, but you ignored me. But now that I've got your attention..."
Who are you?
"Oh, how rude of me. How rude of me. My name is Malakir."
It's nice to meet you.
Oh!
Why are you in the middle of the road?
"It's so delightful when people are pleased to see me. It doesn't happen very often."
Are you going to tell me why you're in the middle of the road?
Would you like to know?
That's why I'm asking.
Ha! Of course, silly me. Silly me. Well, like I said, my name is Malakir. And I'd like you to join me.
I'm going to kind of like whisper to Owen and be like, does that name ring a bell? Do you have any idea who this could be?
Owen just slowly shakes his head. Doesn't say a word.
Is it like a human-sized humanoid, or does it look like short, tall?
It's difficult to tell because it is literally just kind of sat cross-legged, but from what you
Okay.
can tell, it looks around what you'd expect a human to be,
Okay.
size-wise. But difficult to make out details in the dark.
Why do you want us to join you?
Because I want everyone to join me, of course.
Join you in what?
Join me in showing my liege how loyal we are. how loyal everyone can be when put on the right path.
Oh, and I really don't like this. I think we should be ready in case they try to attack.
Were we not on the right path already?
As I don't know if he's close enough for me out of the group to see him. Can I try and do an insight check on his voice? See if I trust him or not?
I mean, do you trust him?
No.
Then you don't need an insight check, do you?
I'm going to just be then prepared for an attack, basically.
Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. It was impressive that you got away last time. But you'll see the light eventually. So to speak.
What do you mean last time?
Well, you should know. Shouldn't you? Alura.
I don't think we can trust him.
Certainly one way of putting it.
I'm just like, I got it. Alura, he's got to be on about the fact you were infected. We managed to stop you from getting any worse, so the infection never took hold. That's what he's got to be on about.
Alura, with the 19 perception you rolled previously, even in the dark, you can see that the ground behind you and to the side of you seems to be getting darker. Like, progressively closer and closer to you.
Okay, and if I focus on looking at it, does it get any clearer, or...?
Eventually, with the dim light of the torches that the wagon has, you can see that the fungus seems to be spreading towards you. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. By the time you notice it, it's sort of basic. Hang on, sorry, wrong tool. You can't even see it. That's a really bad choice of a color. It's basically got you surrounded like this. Like by the time you've managed to focus in on it.
Oh, okay. I'm going to point it out to Owen, Tulip and Grant. I'm assuming if I've spotted it, then Taryn has also spotted it.
Yeah, you can see him kind of like trying to stay close enough to you to make a defense if possible, if necessary, but also like he is trying to sort of steer clear as best he can of any of the fungus himself, so he doesn't make contact with it. And yeah, he's having a bit of trouble. His horse is not happy.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to point that out to the others as well then. And I think we're probably just going to have to try and make a run for it through him. It's not going to go very well, but the other option isn't any better.
The creature sort of stands up, and as he stands up, despite being sort of lightly illuminated by the torchlight and lantern light, you can see that while he has the proportions and size of a human, there are definite like disfigurements and differences to his body that display him as probably some kind of infected.
Okay.
Would you say he's that far away from us?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, I'm not gonna see him at all.
No, you're not. You can just about make out like a very, very dim shadow in the distance.
I'm more going on like I'm pretty good at recognizing the direction of his voice.
Yeah, you can.
Considering
You can almost exactly pinpoint where he is in relation to you, but you can't see anything.
that's fine.
So there is always that kind of uncertainty. Just
I won't say it normally. I'll like quieten my voice down, but this will be to everyone in the caravan. Guys, if we're gonna make a run for it, we need to do it now. If we're gonna fight him, we need to get closer, because I can only tell from his voice where he's at.
The traders basically just like cower into the cart as much as possible, keeping low, trying to stay hidden. Owen is sort of holding himself as if he's ready to fight, but you can see that there's like a weariness to him where he's just kind of, he's done with this, and Taran is being Taran and is sort of preparing himself, even though he's barely slept in 2 days and is, on the brink of collapsing.
Can I cast and hold a guiding bolt, please?
Sure. You can hold that. What you're holding it for?
So that if we make a run for it, I can try and attack this guy on the way to either at least distract him or get some damage done so that we can get by him.
Okay.
Or if we don't run, if he attacks us.
Cool. Okay. He just sort of stands there, his arms slightly swinging from side, like by his side, backwards and forwards, and almost like he's kind of expecting something from you. And when that thing doesn't happen, he just kind of tuts really loudly, and it's like a proper loud reverberating sound. That's a shame. I was hoping you'd come easily, but never mind. We'll do it the hard way. Any second now. Kind of emerging from the fungus, from the mold surrounding you. Those of you who can see become aware of the creatures that you fought yesterday. The lady that you travelled with for so long, and the stranger who appeared behind you at the time.
Wait, really? It's actually them again?
No, but like creatures like that.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, if it was crazy that woman kept coming back after us
Yeah.
in a vengeful way.
No, not her. Creatures like that. I'll put that one there, sorry, so you can see it. They
That's kind of put me at ease a little bit.
They kind of just happen out of the fungus on the floor. There's no steps. There's no kind of closing in. They literally just sort of grow from it, but still have very distinctive humanoid features. If you had an opportunity, you could probably distinguish sort of certain traits about them. But at this point, there isn't time. He just kind of claps his fingers. Off to it then. And they all just start kind of moving in towards you soundlessly. No, they don't make a sound. Their footsteps kind of crunch through the fungus a little bit, but that's about it. And they just keep coming. Would this be a trigger for your guiding bolt?
I think I would try and get Owen to run to get the cart to go.
Okay. How would you try and do that?
Probably just shout at him like, Owen, now we need to go.
Okay. Okay. He considers it for a moment, and as they get to within sort of touching distance, he makes up his mind and just sort of whips his reins, and the horses just kind of take a second and then just start bolting down the road. Taran on his horse behind kicks it and gives it a good sort of, yeah, and takes off after. As the cart and the horses approach the creature, it doesn't move. It makes no attempt to kind of get out of the way. And as you get closer and closer and closer... oops.
I would have used my guiding bolt as well at this point.
All right. On the creature or...
On the creature. On, what's his name? Malakir.
Malakir. Okay. So if you cast Guiding Bolt. Cool. So it's an attack roll. 19. It does hit.
Nice. Can I guidance this as well? Oh wait, no, it's for...
No.
Never mind.
No, you cannot.
Not for damage, no.
So 12. Nice. Okay. You see the Guiding Bolt leave Alura's hand. She whispers her incantation, her prayer, however she casts it, and it kind of lights up the area for a moment and shoots off towards this creature, Malakir. And as it makes contact with his chest, you just kind of see him reel from the pain, and then immediately just kind of starts folding in on himself and shrinking until he basically disappears. And this allows everybody, yourselves and Taran, the opportunity to depart down the road.
Phew.
Never seen that before.
Me either.
That's... What was that?
Bit scary.
Bit scary.
I mean,
Scared.
Alura's gonna kind of make her way back to where she was sat in the car before, like she kind of moved up next to Owen, and say, "We can't stop. We need to keep going."
I agree. We have to push through. I don't want to.
I can
but we
try
have
and
to.
take the reins if you need some rest.
No,
Very well.
I'll keep driving us. Just keep an eye out. Don't let them get close.
Yep, Alura will do just that. She will be keeping a very keen eye out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for once, I think Tulip would be like hand on one side of the cart, axe ready, just and if anything comes close.
All right. maybe an hour and a half pass. Still kind of going at quite a hefty pace. The fungus at this point actually seems to be keeping up, though.
Oh God.
Behind, instead of sort of alongside, it is still behind you by some way, but it is sort of within distance of, like, you can still see it behind you. Eventually, you are surrounded completely by darkness. There's just like, it's basically the middle of the night. You're under a canopy of trees. There's almost no light to go from. The lanterns on the front of the cart seem to be dousing slightly, just running out of juice, it would seem. And Owen's kind of looking back at them. He's just like, forgot they'd need redoing. And in the sort of dimmed light, a bit further along, he seems to be struggling to keep on track. And by the time you can see that he's completely out of energy, like even Taryn is kind of struggling to keep up. Like, he's properly done too. You find yourselves in a more open area of the forest, however, by no means nice. You can see trees, tall trees, that extend hundreds of feet into the air, and they're all corrupted. The roots that are exposed on the surface are entwined and wrapped in fungal roots, the same roots you've been seeing since early yesterday. The trunks of the trees are basically their own ecosystems of fungus. They're different types of fungus on each tree. It seems to be that similar to when you saw and realized they were evolving yesterday, they appear to be evolving based on what surface they're on. And that kind of brings about some more traditional fungus that kind of show themselves in mushrooms and mold, and others that are literally more like literally less fungus and more just pure rot. The whole area smells of rot and just dry musk. It's unpleasant. And Owen's looking around and he's just sort of struggling to keep his eyes open, and he's just like, oh, I made a mistake.
What do you mean you made a mistake?
This isn't the path we should have taken. Behind you, still, that layer of fungus is followed. It's kind of like an omelette in terms of how it looks. It's kind of looks smooth, but it's also rough. But when you touch it, it's kind of spongy.
You're saying we're not going to touch it and fix it?
It looks like if you were to touch it, it'd be spongy.
There we go.
And Owen's kind of looking back, seeing that, and he just keeps kind of... You can see on his face he's sort of resigned to a can't really turn back kind of attitude. I don't know what to do.
Well, does anyone here know how to use horses, drive a cart?
I can try. I'm not great, but I can give it a go.
Because we can't stop now. If we stop now, we will either get all very ill or we're gonna end up in a fight.
Can you guys see well in the dark, though?
No, I
Not
haven't
really.
been seen anything in ages.
I mean, I can see quite well. Well, in the dark normally. I could maybe guide or take
Yes.
the reins if I'll do what you want.
If we have Alura have control of the horses, and you can guide her, Tulip, and I will make sure nothing gets close, because that's all I can see to the caravan, we might be able to just get through this.
I'm up for that.
Okay.
What about the lanterns? Is there any way we can stop them from going out while we're still moving?
I suppose just torches that we can hold. I can hold a torch up for us.
Yeah, I could hold a torch and while guiding as well.
Owen looks over. That could work. I need to lie down. I'm tired. And you can he kind of looks over at Taran. I think Taran needs a rest too. It's been days and he hasn't slept.
Could we maybe put one of the civilians on the horse just to keep it going?
And trust that they'll stay with us? They're not exactly... He looks back at them. They've not exactly been useful thus far. In fact, if anything, they've caused more trouble than help.
Grant, perhaps you'll have to go on the horse.
I would prefer to stay in the cart just to defend it from the rear, but if we need to...
Yeah. It's going to be either that or we leave the horse behind.
Oh god, don't turn into another party that leaves horses in forests.
Unless there's a way we can quickly, tie it to the carriage. Not necessarily so that it's, pulling it, but attached.
Depending on how quick we can do this, actually, I will... Never ridden a horse, but I will try.
Oh no.
At the back of the cart. And have my position on the horse there.
Maybe we should just tie the horse to the cart.
Either will work.
I feel like you could come up with something.
As this seems an appropriate time, Alura is very quickly going to pull out her prayer wheel. And just mutter a prayer under her breath. Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others. And she's just going to bow her head and try to shove Owen out of the way so that he can go rest.
Okay. He doesn't take much shoving, even for a little halfling. He kind of just, allows himself to be pushed backwards into the cart. One of the traders does kind of reduce some rope to maybe tie tie Taran's horse to the cart so that he can also have a rest.
I think that's the best option.
You just kind of, here, this is to help. And
Thank
Just-
you.
Yeah. Hopefully that will solve the problem. I too am going to rest. I've had a hard day.
Actually,
That would be wise.
before you rest, don't you have any potions or anything that can allow us to see in the dark?
No,
What type of traders are you?
not that kind of trader.
They just
Oh.
pull out like a load of socks from their backpacks.
I knitted them myself.
Well,
They are limited edition.
okay then. You rest. I know what use you are for. Mutter that under my breath as I go to the back of the cart to kind of tie the horse.
Okay.
So, oh, I don't want to be on that one. I want to be on this one. I want to be here.
All right. Taryn comes over and hands takes the rope and hands it, sort of pulls it through.
Okay, yeah. Say the horse is tied on this side, near the backish. And I'm watching over it. And once that's done, I'll light a torch, because... Have
Right.
light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just ignore this. I'm just burning one now because I forgot to use it later. Earlier, even when I was burning my sick.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So you've got the torch tied to the cart, so it allows a bit more light. And the horse is tied up so that those who need to sleep can. Tulip, if you're navigating,
I was going to use one as well, wasn't I?
okay.
Sounds good.
So Tulip, you're navigating. Make a survival check for me.
Oh, no.
Okay. Might be okay.
I believe in you, Tulip.
I can guidance him.
Nice. 1d4, yeah.
Yeah, 1d4.
Oh, look at that. Survival master.
Okay. Okay. 21. Blimey. Tulip.
Mm-hmm.
Show up.
Been around. I know my things.
As you kind of look ahead with what light is available, you kind of point out to Alura the best places to try and guide the horses. Excuse me. Try to guide the horses. Alura, make an animal handling check for me.
Can I also guidance this? Has it been 6 seconds?
Yeah, this is a prolonged check.
Okay, cool. So animal handling.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, I mean, I said I was going to do it, so I'm going to do it.
Might as well.
Oops.
Oh, okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'll just roll it manually instead. Hey.
Nice. 24. Who knew that you were actually good at animal handling?
I know, right? Oh, also, before we go on, has it been 8 hours for us to lose our temporary hit points?
Yes.
Cool.
Damn, I didn't want to mention it this time, just in case.
Yes, it has, I'm afraid. Sorry about that.
All good?
That's
Just
fine.
wanted to make sure.
Okay. So combined, surprisingly efficient. Tulip sort of looking for the way and Allura guiding, or driving. you continue through the night, through this kind of unsettling fungal wasteland of trees and just disgusting mush. Navigating your way through all of the navigating your way through all of the routes and every kind of obstacle that is there, you go through numerous miasma of just disgusting rot. The smell at some points does make you all like cover your mouths and kind of cover your faces just because it's that bad. The horses are reluctant, to say the least. But with perseverance and a little bit of luck, you do eventually find your way through. When I say find your way through, you do leave this sort of overgrown, nasty forest type. I guess it used to be a forest. It's now just whatever it is. And as the day, as the day draws closer, you do find that the sun is rising, as it tends to do at the beginning of the days, and you're leaving the forest altogether, which in some ways is good because it just means you're free of the trees and all that. Wait a minute. Interesting. How did I lose you? Sorry. You start literally leaving the forest, and there you are. Then you come out into what seems to be an actual road. Like, either you've rejoined the same road, or you found another road further off somewhere. There's kind of hills and a few trees and hedges, but nothing to the extent that you was sort of just in. And for now, it seems like you've outrun the fungus.
So the road is clear.
As far as you can
Clear
tell.
of fungus.
Yeah.
As I'm the one at the back, and it's becoming more like, can I tell if it seems to extend further than the forest, or it's like at the moment keeping to the edge line of the forest?
Make a perception check.
Because I would assume since it's been following us, it would probably still try and follow us. So let's see.
It's difficult to tell. Because you're not quite sure where you are in proximity to where you were. There's definitely uncertainty, and for now, you can't see anything fungal going on.
Okay.
For now. After a little while, Owen starts to kind of stir, and he sits up rubbing his eyes, and he's just looks around, and kind of just keeps blinking because he's just in disbelief. He's not quite sure where he is. Where are we?
Somewhere not covered in fungus.
I can see that. How long have we been traveling?
All night.
All right. And I don't suppose you happen to know which direction it is to Port Royal, do you?
I can try if I can do like a history check, or I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what else I'd be able to use. Survival, maybe?
Survival, perhaps. You kind of know roughly where Port Royal is in relation to landmarks that are vaguely marked on a map.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, roll a survival check with disadvantage
there-
for me.
I was gonna
Okay.
say, is there any chance like I could help with that, considering I'm a far traveler, so I kind of know stuff? But
Nah, not really.
okay.
Okay, 11. It's difficult to tell. There aren't really any landmarks here at the moment for you to
Yeah.
kind of work from. But all you know at the moment is you're on a road that isn't covered in fungus, and there are no creepy, weird people, you know, trying to get you to join them.
How light is it with the sun? Like, is it fully up or still quite dark?
It's not dark, but it's not up. It's like,
Like dawn.
yeah, excuse me, Jesus, the yawns have set in.
They've started.
With my
Okay, well, I can offer to Owen, like, if he wants us to stop the cart so we can kind of, like, try and get our bearings before we go too far away the wrong direction.
With my previous survival check, could I like detail the direction we were since when he stopped?
Not really.
Okay.
It's difficult to tell where you were in the forest,
Yeah.
especially because it was the middle of the night. And now you're getting tired, and yeah, it's not conducive to, you know, being sure.
That's fair enough.
Judging from where the sun's rising, it seems like you're currently heading north.
We wanted to head east, didn't we? Based on the map. I guess unless we're underneath the town and we're going up, that's good.
That's a long stretch.
Do you not recognise the road, Owen, by any chance?
I don't recognise this. I've not been down here before.
Well, I guess better forwards than backwards.
Actually, both. What are your names? Tulip and Alura. Roll survival checks for me again, please. Okay. Kind of keeping your eye out. There definitely seems to be I'll rephrase. a little bit of time passing and still traveling in the same direction allows you a few glimpses at landmarks.
Oh, good.
As you kind of crest hit like little hills that give you a view of the terrain in front of you, you can see in the distance, in the direction that is sort of almost certainly north, you can see cliffs. And to your southeast, you can see a glow. Not from the sun rising or anything like that. Sun rises in the east, doesn't it? Am I being stupid?
Yeah, rice is in the east.
Thought so. You know when you know something, but then you start doubting it.
Yeah.
That's what's just happened. Yeah, so it's not from the sun rising. It's a different kind of glow. Which Grant and Tulip being quite well travelled would know that that is the world tree.
Oh wow. Okay.
The world tree's quite near where we need to go.
Yeah, it's not far. It's kind of, it was halfway basically between where you needed to be.
If we're close to that, and I'm trying to guess that we got about halfway, we have ended up going up closer to the world tree rather than carrying on to the town.
No, incorrect.
No? Okay.
You were following, originally you were going to be following the coast. If you check there's one chat, the scales chat, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking at the map.
Right, so if you're looking at the map, you've got Port Grande, and then like 2 dots on that peninsula left side.
Yeah.
The top dot next to the world tree is the town you were in, or town you were heading for, Summer Heath. And then you were going to be traveling down that coast and around.
Oh, okay.
So what you've done is got turned around, and you're now heading seemingly towards the cliffs in the north, with the world tree to your sort of 5 o'clock.
So we've somehow backtracked.
Kind of.
We've not fully backtracked, but we're on that path to it. Great. Well, I know where the world tree is, but Grant doesn't have a clue, so...
Do we have any ideas on if we're going in the right direction?
Yeah,
Owen, do you recognize anything?
you know. Oh no, you don't. Grant and Tulip know and can tell that you're going in the almost exact wrong direction. Owen kind of picks up on the same clues, and no, we're going the wrong way. Turn around.
Yep, I'll turn the cart around if I can.
Whoops.
I kind of break out of this
Oh no.
weird focus of watching, and
That didn't work.
that way's back to the fungus, unless you know another way to the town, Owen.
What would you want me to do? The fungus happens to be in the way of our destination.
Yeah. Well, you're right. If there's no way else to get to our destination, all we can do is, we know the fungus is there. We know we may have to fight these creatures and whatever that person was.
Well, we did go through the forest, so perhaps if we stick to the road, we won't necessarily meet the fungus.
That is a possibility.
But
It's
either
really-
way, we can't keep going in the direction we're going if it's the complete wrong way.
We need to get there, and we can ride through it.
I mean, the horse can't, but
It's fine. Who needs horses?
we can cross that bridge if we come to it.
Aha! Now, bridge is what you need. Just put it over the fungus. It'll be fine. Owen kind of pushes you out of the way and takes over the reins. I'll take over from here. You just get some sleep. You look like you need it. All three of you have a point of exhaustion, by the way. So you have
Amazing.
you have a -1 to all D20 rolls.
Yes.
There it is.
The exhaustion on here might do something a bit weird because it's not the same, but it'll be fine.
We'll find out.
We'll definitely remember.
Yeah,
Okay.
Alura's just gonna kind of like shrug her shoulders and head back into the back of the caravan.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Owen takes over, settles into his spot, and you can almost feel a sort of an immediate difference in how smooth the carriage moves. It's almost like the horses kind of just relax slightly from him taking over, despite them being at this point on the move for almost 3 days straight. 2 days straight because they did have a rest. They're kind of dead on their feet, but they still go. And gently, they're not moving quickly by any means, but smooth and consistent. Are the three of you gonna sleep, or are you gonna try and stay awake?
I think I try
How
to sleep.
ill am I feeling at this point?
What was your question, Burias?
Oh, so I think I'll try to sleep.
You're gonna try and sleep. Okay. Tulip just kind of sleeps. Grant, are you sleeping?
No, I'm gonna kind of just mentally prepare for the exhaustion of that I took and carry on keeping an eye out.
Okay. Okay. That's fair. Now, to your question. You've been feeling unsettled this whole time. Not so much ill at the moment as just... It's just like... You kind of have that like anxiety feeling, you know,
Yeah.
where it just kind of bubbles away. And you're still that sort of in-between clammy kind of feeling. And you have a distinct sort of need, or not need, a distinct feeling that you just kind of want to seek out Malakir. Malakir.
Almost.
Malakir. You just kind of keep feeling that you need to search him out. But for the moment, you're holding that feeling off.
Mhm.
But-
Okay.
That doesn't answer the question of whether you're going to go to sleep or not.
Can I say a quick prayer to Hestia first before I sleep?
Sure. Go for it.
Nothing specific. Just like a quick prayer, like to ask for some strength.
A sort of normal, usual,
Yeah.
kind of everyday prayer.
Nothing off my prayer wheel. Just a normal one.
Okay.
And then I will sleep.
Okay. You fall asleep in an instant, just like Tulip. You are passed out, snoring away happily. And make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh, you couldn't have been a 1.
It's the curse of being a halfling. It's like
Yep.
you actually pray for ones when it's that low. You're the kind of safe, warm feeling you get from Hestia being your deity, that normally sticks with you, just seems to evaporate as you sleep. The same dream you had the previous time you slept sort of lingers in your brain, and that feeling of anxiety you had before bubbles up quite severely to the point where it's quite difficult to breathe. And this time you have the floor, which is spongy, and you have the smell, which is putrid. But now you also have spores, which are grating. They tickle the back of your throat as you inhale, and they feel like sandpaper in your throat. But the worst part is when you look up and you see that kind of pixelated, blurry figure in front of you. It kind of just makes you want to continue walking, as much as you wish to pull away. But nothing comes of it as yet. That you actually make a perception check. Before you wake up, the conversation with Malakir replays in your head. Except this time, you have... except this time, much in the way that dreams seem to work, you're... Instead of being on the cart, you're face to face with him. And you can see that while being the shape and size of human, his arms are emaciated but covered in fungus. His body emaciated, covered in fungus, except his where his stomach would be is hollow, and his back hunched over, like properly hunchbacked. You can see every single bone, sinew, and tendon underneath his skin, and it's kind of, except his skin seems to be like the same layers that you've seen previously on the floor that have been following you. His ears are long, and while they look to be kind of semi-elven ears, they're also crusted over with just like rot. His head, is shriveled. His eyes shrunken, but almost like raven eyes that are just like those black dots. And his hair has been replaced with roots that are just kind of creeping down his body and intertwining into any space they can find. And he's just crouched down on the ground, having this conversation with you, and him crouching puts him face to face with you at full height. And the last thing you sort of think about and realize before you wake up is that you're smiling while talking to him. This is a friendly conversation.
Oh, God.
You wake up. Tulip, you wake up. Happy. Tulip. Tulipy.
Very tulipy.
Tulipy. Grant, if you've stayed awake this whole time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I think we'll end the session there for today. Just leave you with something to chew on. Almost quite literally. Good job, guys. You didn't die.
Didn't die.
Not yet.
So pessimistic. You'll be fine.
Oh, I'll be fine.
I mean, yeah, Tulip will be fine.
Tulip will find something else to do. It's fine.
Oh no, my friends seem to be dead. Never mind. Onwards.
Yep.
Oh, surely as long as he's got that flower, he's all right.
He's fine.
Yeah, for now.
He's fine.
Yeah, another one.
Exactly.
So they left.
But no, it was a good session. Lots of walking. It was definitely...
That was a really good session. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Traveling Simulator 2023, but hey, you learned things. Which is always good. So. Thank you for playing. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone watching.
Thanks for DMing.
That's okay. We will be back on Thursday. Put it in your calendars. With the second session of my Verdamont campaign. So Chloe will be back, Jay will be back, Monk will be back, and Death will be back for intrigue, and adventure. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it too. We'll be back next week for another exciting session. Let's see if there's anyone around to raid into, because that's what you're supposed to do when you stream. So I hear. Trying to find people that I remember. That's the same people. Oh, it's a different order, that's why. No? Okay. Okay, well, no raid again for today. I'm not good at raiding people.
Never mind.
Never mind. But no, I appreciate you all being here for chat. Just lurking and listening is still cool, even if you're not talking. I appreciate being background noise for you all. Well, we appreciate being background noise for you all.
Yep.
And feel free to check out tomorrow, episode 1 on YouTube. Just go and leave it in the background. Then perhaps on Thursday, if not next week, we'll have this episode up and we'll continue going. The YouTube thing. But yeah, I'm going to go and stop rambling because I'll be here all day otherwise. Goodbye, everyone. We appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.